Myths and legends. Things that chill our bones and tickle our curiosity. Reality, or just something we inherited through history? Are you ready to find out about something new? Some legends we hear in our early childhood tend to stick with us for all of our lives. Some even embed a deep fear of things we shouldn't fear. One such stuck in my memory and remained here as a reminder of many stories my grandparents used to tell me as a child. The story of the gray man and the faceless child was a part of my nightmares for years, so it is only fair that I share it with you. Once there lived an old man. He had a house on the far end of the village and everybody feared him. It was believed that he murdered his son and daughter-in-law, only to raise his granddaughter as he pleased. Everyone in the village believed that he was a warlock, and his son and daughter-in-law didn't want to carry on the tradition. The gray man used to walk around the village at night in long black rags, carrying a heavy oak stick. His long gray hair and tall, slender body made him even scarier as he walked underneath the moonlight. One early morning, villagers woke up to the sight of his house burning. Those who weren't afraid of him rushed to aid him and his granddaughter. Upon arrival, they saw his half-burned body trying to crawl back into the flames. People dragged him away as he kept begging them to go in and save the child. But the flames were too high. As they refused, he even tried to persuade them that if they help him and save her, he will tell them all the secrets he knew about their futures. In the end, they could only watch as the wooden house collapsed under the fire. And in his helplessness, the gray man said that he will forever remain here and will appear on one single day a year to aid anyone who wishes, just as they aided him. Not long after, the gray man took his last breath. As the fire burned down, villagers found the burned bones of the little girl, so they buried them together. Exactly a year later, a local man was walking home late. As he approached the old oak tree that grew near the burned house, he saw a figure of a tall man and a small child. As he was one of the men who went to the burn site a year earlier, he rushed home frightened for his life, convinced it was the gray man and his granddaughter. He told everything to his wife and teenage son. Soon after he fell asleep, his mischievous son snuck out and ventured to the old oak tree in the middle of the night. As the morning came, neighbors found the boy sitting under the tree shaking and not saying a word. They took him home, where his father told everything he saw the night before. Soon, the whole village became intrigued by the story, as the gray man promised to reveal the future to anyone who saw his spirit. Days passed, but the man's son didn't speak a word. He stopped eating and sleeping and became increasingly paranoid, always turning around and jumping to every sound. A week later, feeling that his son's life and sanity were slipping away, the man finally convinced him to speak, and he wished he didn't. The story he told him goes like this. Once I came to the oak tree, I saw them. At first, they looked like shadows, so I called out to them and asked the gray man to tell me my future, as for you were the one who aided him on that day he died. The gray man laughed, but his granddaughter remained silent. Then he spoke to me, saying,
As you aided us when we were alive, so shall I aid you. We will follow you for as long as you will live, reminding you of the cowardliness of your father. This shall be your future, and the future of all who seek us.
At that moment they stepped forward, and I could see their faces, and I have been seeing them ever since, everywhere. They are following me when I am asleep or awake. and I can clearly see the burnt skin on his face still falling off as he walks. But the thing that frightens me is the girl, for she has no face. But she has arms that are reaching out for me to hold her. It is said that the young man committed suicide a few months after he asked the Grey Man and the Faceless Child to tell him his future. Every year after that, people would encounter the Grey Man and the Faceless Child on that one single day. But only a few were brave or stupid enough to ask them anything. And those who did committed suicide not long after. So, there you have it, the Grey Man and the Faceless Child, myth or reality. Are they yet another tool to scare people, or did their pain remain in this world to seek vengeance? Be sure not to seek answers to your future, because you might end up not having any. And remember, there is always something lurking out there, just waiting to haunt you with their pain. Hi guys, so as usual, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing and everything you do. And if you like reading dark psychological thrillers, be sure to check out my book that's based on Croatian mythology and is called Štorka. I will leave a link down below. And yeah, this has once again been one of Croatia's myths and legends. My name is Jelena Hrvoj.
And I'm Daniel Fiket.
And we will hear you next week. Bye!
Bye.